The Joe Rogan Experience.
There's, you know, about the Sundarbans in India.
Yes.
That's a crazy place.
Crazy.
I did a bit about that in my act as well, back in 2009, my Comedy Central special, where over a period of 200 years, they think somewhere in the neighborhood of 300,000 people have been killed by tigers in the Sundarbans.
Right. Isn't that nuts? I mean, it's just like that number. It's unfathomable.
There was a story that I talked about in that set where there was a boat filled with 5 guys, and one tiger swam out to the boat, killed a guy, dragged his body to the shore, jumped back in the water, swam out to the boat, killed another guy. Did it with 3 different guys until he got tired of killing people.
That's insane.
Killed 3 people in a boat of 5. So these 2 guys lost 3 of their friends just shit in their pants. They swim.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They
Tigers
swim.
are crazy. And what's crazy about the Sundarbans, too, is there's saltwater crocodiles, there's tigers, there's bear. I mean, there's elephants. Yeah, there's Asiatic sun bear there. It's just like, it's this crazy little habitat. And I know a couple photographers that have been in there, and they're like, you don't see anything. It's like huge, tall tufts of grass. You know, everything can hide perfectly, and it's all there. And you just don't see it coming.
Oh, fuck. And a bunch of people that are living in these huts and these villages. They have no protection.
But you said something earlier today about how your friend projected the wolf howl into the...
Not my friend, that guy in that thing that we watched.
that weird wolf guy. Gotcha.
The wolf expert.
But what I love, I find that those non-conflict mitigations are going to be the wave of the future, right? Using technology to come up with biocontrols like a wolf growl to other wolves, or an alarming sound or a smell that animals don't want to interfere because of territories. I think that stuff's fascinating.
It is. Yeah, I agree. It really is interesting. And I think one of the cool things about all this wildlife is that if we handle it correctly, we can make sure that these things are sustainable and they stay around, and we can still be like just marvel at their presence.
Yeah.
And it is possible to keep wolves here.
Yeah.
It's possible to keep grizzly bears here. It's possible to keep all these things here. And we really, 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 really should.
Yep.
Because if you go back in time, I mean, how amazing would it be if we could go back in time and see saber-toothed tigers?
Like, incredible.
To be able to see some of these animals that you only see depictions of, or you see skulls of, that were caught in the La Brea tar pits or something. Like, we have those things right now. We have a lot of them.
And we can save them. And we have the knowledge, the power, the technology, the tools, the finance. We have all the pieces of the puzzle to make it work.
Well, I think that's one of the really cool things about what you do is you broadcast all this stuff, and you let people know, and you have a big signal, and you show people all this cool stuff like that tortoise that you found, or like all these other different animals, and you let people know, like, this is interesting, this is exciting, and it's something that it's in our DNA to be fascinated by other life forms,
right? And it's worth saving.
Yes.
Like we don't want to be sitting here, our great grandkids, Joe, sitting at the same table, 100 years from now, going, man, imagine if we could have seen a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want that.
Well, we still have them here in California. It's in our state flag.
It's in our flag, the golden grizzly.
Yeah, but there's not a single one left.
No,
they killed all those fuckers.
Yeah, possibly. I don't want to get down a weird rabbit hole here. Possibly in Mexico, the silver grizzly bear in the high Mexican Sierras.
What?
Ongoing reports of grizzlies. So the same species that would have been here, right, that hung out in the Sierras, traveling all the way down into the Sierra Madres of Mexico, and then in these what they call sky islands, if you're familiar with that term. I'll explain in a second. These islands of isolated habitat up in the sky where they get more rainfall and everything else. There's big tracts of private land down there in Mexico where a couple of these farmers are like, something's killing my cattle, and it's not a mountain lion, and it could potentially be like half a dozen Mexican grizzly bears.
Couldn't it be jaguars though?
Could be, but they're saying it's not cats. There's like reported sightings of seeing bears.
Really?
And if you look up the Mexican grizzly bear, it was declared extinct 20 years before another one was killed. So they're like, nah, they're gone. They're declared extinct. Then 20 years later, some guy shoots one.
Google Mexican grizzly bear. I need to see this. So what'd you say?
I'm trying to find some, like, this just shows pictures of grizzly bears and stuff. So I'm trying to find, like...
You can add the word silver in my...
Why silver?
I think it's just the fur color.
Oh, so they have like a silvery color to them? Like, oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's a black and white photo here, so it's hard to tell.
What? Those are real?
stuff.
These
That's
are stuff in Chicago, but they're from Mexico.
Yeah.
So what year is this?
That's probably World Fair time. I don't know.
Wow.
1899. This says.
But take a look
the
at when
picture.
the last one was killed, and then if you can find it, see where it says they were extinct, and it's many, many years later.
They took this one on a parade of some sort.
Whoa. Look at that fucker.
1960.
1960s, yeah.
Interesting. So it might be possible that thing is still alive somewhere.
There are reports floating in. And I mean, the 60s, that's not long ago, right? So, there's reports that on these giant tracts of private land up in these mountains, there's potentially a very small population of Mexican grizzly bears.
Wow.
Which I think is fascinating. And it's one of those things that I don't think, it's like so crazy that I don't think anybody's gone and looked. You know what I mean? Like if some rancher who owns 500,000 acres in Mexico is like, yeah, I've got a bear killing my cows. It's like, yeah, sure you do, right? But maybe he does. Like who's gone to investigate up in the high mountain peak areas of this 1,000,000-acre ranch?
Well, there's not supposed to be grizzly bears in Colorado, but my friend Adam Greentree, who is a very experienced outdoorsman, he was hunting in the San Juan Mountains, and he got a grizzly bear filmed on camera. He's looking at it through a scope, and he documented it on his Instagram page, and he's like, that is a fucking grizzly bear.
Wow.
And there's sightings of them from the past. That was when he was getting chased by one, but I believe that was in either Idaho or Wyoming, places where they're known about grizzly bears. His sighting of this is when he's holding up a gun, and a female kept bluff charging him. See her standing there in the background?
Oh yeah, she's
Dude,
not happy.
Not happy. Fuck that.
Wasn't his gun not right?
It wasn't.
too?
No, his gun. He had the wrong caliber bullet in his gun, so it didn't really load all the way into the pistol.
Oh, geez.
And he didn't know that until after this altercation. So even if he had pulled the trigger, nothing would have happened.
Right.
No bueno. But she bluff charged him. She got within 30 feet a couple of times. Yeah.